Hi emerging leaders, it's Cara Ronan from Executive Impressions, helping you build visibility and influence so you can unlock your leadership potential. Now in this video, I'm going to talk to you about how to get your unfair boss to notice your hard work. Now this is a problem for a lot of emerging leaders, and it leads to a very difficult situation for you to work in. It's a shame, but it doesn't always have to be that way. There are some things that you can do, which I'm going to teach you in this video. Now, I hope this video does help you. Make sure you watch till the end because I'm going to tell you how I used coffee meetings to land a job as a tax consultant at Deloitte in Tokyo. So watch till the end so you can get how I did that. But first, if you are a regular viewer of this channel, welcome back. Thank you so much for watching again. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are new to this channel and you want more information like this about how to grow as a leader, then make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can see all the videos when I release them on YouTube. Now let's get into the tips on how to get your unfair boss to notice your hard work. To start off with, what do I mean by an unfair boss? Well, I'm talking about a boss who consciously doesn't recognize the effort that you're putting in, who consciously doesn't recognize the value that you bring to your team. They ignore it or they even pass credit on to somebody else. This is what I mean when I talk about an unfair boss. Have you ever had a boss that's like this? Having an unfair boss is a huge issue for both the individual employee and also for the company as a whole. I came across a study from Top Jobs where they surveyed 2,000 Americans and they found that 49% of people leave their job because of their manager. This is astounding and it makes a huge issue for companies to handle. So for the individual employee, what it leads to is heightened stress, anxiety, and decreased job satisfaction. For the company, what it leads to is increased employee turnover and decreased productivity. So whether it's the individual employee or for the company, having a bad boss isn't good for the company as a whole. Having an unfair boss who doesn't recognize the value that you bring, who doesn't recognize the hard work that you put into the team, only leads to negative consequences. And it could also be the reason why you are still doing the same work you've been doing for the last few years and why you're not progressing in your career. For you to enjoy your job, for you to like going to work, and for you to feel that you are advancing in your career, you need to address any kind of problem about your boss not appreciating or recognizing the hard work that you're putting in. Now, I'm going to go through some things that you can try. The first tip is to discover your boss's style of working. So maybe the way that you are doing things doesn't fit in with them. For example, maybe you're producing reports in a way that they don't like. Maybe you are waiting too much for direction when they just want you to get the job done. This is probably causing frustration in your boss and it's showing up in the way they communicate and interact with you. The result is they ignore the work that you are doing. Now, ignoring your work is a very indirect and passive way of communicating. Now, I've talked in a lot of videos before about assertive communication. I'm a big advocate of assertive communication, but not all bosses or leaders know how to communicate assertively. So how do you deal with this issue? Well, you get them to communicate more assertively, and you do this by asking them. So what is their preferred style of working? What do they expect from you? How would they like you to do things? By initiating this type of conversation, it makes you look like a leader and it relieves them of having to initiate it themselves. Let me know in the comments below, have you ever asked your boss what they expect from you? This is particularly useful if you are starting a new job or if you get a new boss in your current job. And if you want to learn about how to make a good first impression because you've started a new job, then check out last week's video where I talk about how to make a good first impression in the workplace. I will link to it in the description below, and I also put a card on the screen above. And the second thing you need to do is communicate the issue with them. So this follows on from the previous point about having a conversation with your boss about their expectations of you. So if you've had that conversation, if you've asked their expectations of you and they still overlook your work and they don't value your contribution, then what you need to do is organize a one-on-one meeting with them and talk to them about the issue that you're having. This does a really important thing. It moves their actions from being indirect to direct. When people are put directly in front of their actions or even their inactions, they realize that they can't get away with it anymore. So by you approaching your boss and talking with them about the issue you're experiencing, they will realize that you've noticed their indirectness. You've noticed them ignoring your work, and they can't get away with it anymore. And the result is, for many people at this point, they will stop treating you unfairly. They will start recognizing your hard work because they know that they've been found out. And this will lead to you feeling more valued in your job and feeling more in control of your job and of your life and your relationships with other people around you. And the third thing you can do is prepare your exit. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that you need to leave the company. It could be that you move to a different team or you move to a different department where you will have a new boss. Now, if this is something that you want to try to pursue, then I recommend you go to HR, organize a meeting with them, talk to them about the problem you are having, and see if they can move you to a different team or a different department. This is a great way for you to stay inside a company, and it's great if you really love working for that particular company. Failing that, you could look at moving to a different company. Now, I don't say this lightly. It does take research, it does take time, it does take forming connections to enable you to find a job in another company and transition into another company. So it's something that you definitely want to start before you leave your job. So how do you go about this? Well, looking for a job in another company is worthy of a whole other video, so I'm not going to go into too much detail in this video. But what I will tell you is the first thing you should do is start networking, start connecting with people, with hiring managers in companies you would like to work for. So try to organize into your schedule to attend a networking event every week or at least every couple of weeks so you can meet the people you need to meet if you want to transition. And the second thing you can do is to organize coffee meetings or lunch meetings with potential hirers in companies you would like to work for. Now, at the beginning of this video, I mentioned I would tell you about how I got a job with Deloitte in Tokyo. Now, coffee meetings or actually lunch meetings is exactly how I did it. I was looking for a job in Tokyo in an accounting firm, and what I did is I went to the website of Deloitte. I found some names of some partners in that accounting firm. I contacted them by email and one of them replied and we organized to have a lunch together. Now that lunch led to another coffee meeting with a different department, with people in that department who were actually looking to hire somebody. So it led to a meeting with those people, which led to another meeting with the decision maker of that particular job, and it led to me landing a job in Tokyo as a tax consultant with Deloitte. And after coffee meetings, the third thing that you can do is to get active on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is a wealth of connections. It's a wealth of information, and you absolutely need to be active on LinkedIn if you want to be visible and influential as a leader in the professional world today. So what I recommend you to do is to start posting content on LinkedIn, start writing articles if you can, even posting videos, which is what I do a lot of. Now, if you want to learn how to create a fantastic about section for your LinkedIn profile, I will link to another video I have on how to create an amazing about section on LinkedIn. I'll put that in the description below and also a card on the screen so you can check it out. Well, there you have it. 3 tips on how to get your unfair boss to notice your hard work. Now, let me know in the comments below, is this an issue you have ever experienced? Have you ever had an unfair boss who didn't notice or value the hard work that you are putting in? Let me know in the comments below. Now, next week, I will be back with another video. This time, I'm talking about business etiquette tips for the workplace for leaders. So make sure you come back next week to watch that video. And if you did like this video, then make sure you hit the like button below, subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell as well, and make sure you share it with your colleagues and friends to help them out as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.